What's up everyone? So I haven't done one of these Versus episodes in a while, so I figured with everyone so high still on Infinity War hype, now is a good time to do it. So I'm going to compare the Walmart exclusive Marvel Legends Thanos with the Disney Store exclusive Marvel Select Thanos with the Marvel Legends Build-A-Figure Thanos. Let's see which Thanos I like the most. It's Versus. Let's do this.
Magic world, your sky all hung with jewels. The killing moon will come too soon. Fate up against your will through the thick and thin.
Alright, so welcome to my episode of Versus. If you have not seen one of these episodes before on my channel, this is where I compare three figures of the same character. I compare articulation, I compare the way they look, I compare the current price for what you can buy them for, and I give you my opinion on which one I personally like the most. So this is very, very subjective. Of course, this is my opinion, so you might not agree with it, but I will share which one I like the most for the price and for the value. So, first of all, I have some other Thanoses just in the background here, because this is a Thanos Versus episode. So I have the Hot Toys Thanos. I do plan on getting the new Hot Toys Thanos, which ships next year from Infinity War, but this one looks really, really cool on the throne. And I have the Walmart exclusive Pop from Infinity War, and I have this, this is the first Cause Baby I've purchased, which is made by Hot Toys, actually. So, but this is the real reason you're here, hopefully, to see my thoughts on these three Thanoses. This is my newest one. I already had the Build-A-Figure Thanos, and I had the Walmart exclusive comic book version. When I first saw pictures of this, I didn't know if I wanted it, but when I saw it in person, I am so absolutely happy that I purchased this one. But let's start talking about these three figures. So, I'm going to talk about cost first. I looked at the most recent prices of these three figures. This Walmart exclusive on eBay is going for around $30. This Disney Store exclusive can actually still be purchased at Disney stores for $25 plus tax. You can go to shopdisney.com. It is back ordered on there, but I believe you could still purchase it from shopdisney.com. And then this one right here is a Build-A-Figure, so you actually have to purchase all of the figures in the wave to build him, or you can buy him from eBay or from a secondary source. But he is going for about $70 right now, anywhere from $60 to $80. So right around 70 bucks. But that is price right there. Let's talk about value. So let's just look at each of these figures in detail. I'm going to start with the Marvel Legends Build-A-Figure Thanos. So there's a couple things that I really like about this figure. There's a couple things I don't really like that much, but I can look past because I love the character and I loved him in the movie. So first things first, I really, really like the paint applications on the actual clothing itself and on the Infinity Gauntlet. I like the use of the metallic looking paint. You can see the back here. Paint looks really good. Here's the Infinity Gauntlet, since I'm going to show you the Gauntlet on all three of these figures and kind of compare the way they look. Paint looks pretty good on this Gauntlet. There's the belt. I really like the paint on the boots as well. The metallic looking paint. If you look at his knee, it kind of looks like Boba Fett's face. This figure is really cool. The only things I really don't like about it are the skin tone. The skin tone of purple that they used, it's a very, very dark purple. I'm not sure if it comes through on this video, but it's very dark. I don't know, it's a little too dark in my opinion. I wish they would have gone a little bit lighter on the purple skin. So I'm going to use this as a point of comparison. This is the Hot Toys version, and Hot Toys is usually pretty screen accurate as far as skin tone. So let's compare skin tone. You could see the Marvel Legends is a little too dark compared to the Hot Toys. And again, the Hot Toys is not the end all be all. It's not the gospel, but it's a very, very good indication of what he's supposed to look like on screen. This looks a little too dark. Otherwise, this is a really great figure. These three figures pretty much share the same articulation with the exception of the Disney Store exclusive, which I'll talk about when I get to that figure. There's two things that are different articulation-wise on the Disney Store exclusive, but for the most part, they share the same articulation. They have the bicep cut, they have single jointed elbows, they have articulation in the wrist, they have the hip joint, they have upper thigh cut, they have double jointed knees, they have ankle articulation, and they have the ankle pivot, and then they have the ab crunch. On the Marvel Legends version, they have that single ab crunch right there in both Marvel Legends versions. So the articulation is very comparable between these three figures. So it really comes down to price and how you think it looks, which one looks better to you personally. But that is the Marvel Legends Build-A-Figure. Again, I like this figure. I think he has a good height. Here's a height comparison between the three. But I don't know, I just think that his skin tone is a little too dark. I mean, you can even see the comparison between the pop and the skin tone of the Marvel Legends. The pop is lighter skinned, and he's a little too dark. So that's the only drawback, I think, to this figure. So moving on to, I'm going to go to this one now. The Marvel Legends Walmart exclusive comic book, Thanos. So this is actually a rehash of a previous Build-A-Figure. They actually did a Build-A-Figure for Thanos in a previous wave. I believe it was the Age of Ultron Avengers wave. But this is a rehash of that with new paint apps. And I gotta say, I absolutely love the paint apps on this figure. The blue that they use is like a metallic blue. I'm not sure how well it's showing off in the video, but it looks very, very shiny. It's very cool. And the gold really pops as well. This is a really, really outstanding paint job on this figure. If you're looking for a comic book version of Thanos, you can't go wrong with this figure, especially for the price right now. Again, it's $30 on eBay right now, or if you can find it in a Walmart store, it's 20 bucks or 18 bucks. But I just think it looks really, really good. Here's a close-up on the face. And he shares the same articulation, the same exact articulation as the Build-A-Figure version. I go back. This one actually has one additional point of articulation that this one does not. This one right here has a cut, a boot cut. So you can actually swivel. So as you see here, I swiveled his boot. You could swivel his boot for additional posability. But here is a close-up on the Infinity Gauntlet on this Marvel Legends Walmart exclusive version. Again, and you can see the stones are arranged in a different order because it's a comic book version. Just a very, very cool looking figure all around. I really love the paint on this version. And again, if you're looking for a comic book version, this is a great one to get. Marvel Select previously did another Thanos before this one, which is kind of a classic looking Thanos, and that one looks great as well. But I just really love the metallic paint on this one. It really stands out on your shelf when you pose this with the rest of your Marvel Legends figures. But there is the Walmart exclusive Thanos. And that brings us to the final one. This is the Disney Store exclusive Thanos. And I gotta say, I absolutely love this figure. The way I kind of look at this one is it's kind of a mixture between the comic book version and the movie version, because the color scheme they used is very, very movie-like. The gold they use, just the colors in general look very, very movie-like, but you can see he's got this big piece on his shoulders that is like the comic book version. I know that this one, they're officially calling it like a modern Thanos in the comic books. A lot of the comic books currently are taking cues from the MCU, and they borrow the way things look from the movie counterparts. So I could see why the modern Thanos in comic books looks a lot like the movie version, right there, but I just really like this version. This is such a cool version. And again, articulation-wise, he's got the same articulation as the Marvel Legends versions, but instead of a hinge or a crunch in the ab, he's got this kind of joint where he can turn side to side. Let me show you how you can use that ab joint for some additional poses. Alright, so I have him in this pose here, and this really shows off how you can use that ab joint to kind of hunch him over into a certain direction, and it doesn't necessarily have to be front or back. Like this one right here, he could bend forward, he could bend backward. But this one right here, if you could see, he's like twisting. So it's a crunch forward and a twist. Now I know it kind of looks weird because the gold piece is not lined up, but you can really articulate this thing in different ways that you can't with the Marvel Legends. And I just like that. I think it's cool that you can get him in certain poses that you can't replicate with that single ab joint. This one right here also has a mid-boot cut, and let me show you that. So there is the mid-boot cut. You can swivel right there, right about halfway down that boot, and it provides some additional articulation to get him in some really cool action poses. The Marvel Select version also comes with an additional head sculpt. This is actually the one that it comes packaged with the helmet on. And there's a close-up of that face sculpt. But I do really like the unmasked, unhelmeted face sculpt. It just reminds me a lot of the movie. I really like this version a lot. Let me show you a close-up on the paint. His waist piece there. And there's the gauntlet. And you can see that the gems are in different locations. There's the locations of the gems on the movie version. And there's the location of the gems on this comic book version, or modern comic book version. But I think he just looks awesome. I think that the paint on him looks great, but you could see the weathering effect that they use with that darker paint on there, the splotches of brown. It just makes it look like he's been through battle. And you could see the splotches of the black and the brown on that side as well. A character like Thanos should not look extremely clean. His paint should look kind of jacked up. And you could see on this piece here, it's got kind of like a little, like a scratch mark there and some additional weathering. But I just think he looks awesome. And if you can't tell, when comparing the three of these, let me get them all in kind of a similar pose. Alright, so final thoughts. First of all, I got them all in kind of a similar pose. I did the Marvel Legends the best I could to replicate this pose. Again, you can really get this guy in some more dynamic poses because of that different ab articulation that he has. But for the most part, I really enjoy the Marvel Legends versions. I love the comic book version. It's hard to do a versus between these three because you're talking about three different styles of the same character. I mean, that's the movie version. This is a classic comic book version, and this is a modern comic book version. But just to compare the three and to kind of give you my thoughts on which one I like the most, I personally love the Marvel Select Disney Store exclusive the most. I think that he's a cool combination between a comic book style and a movie style, how they borrowed the same color scheme from the movies and kind of borrowed the way he looks in general from the movies, but he's kind of got the same outfit and uniform that he has in the comic book. So this is just like a cool amalgamation between, you know, comic book and movie. So I would highly recommend this. Plus, it's easily accessible right now if you can go to a Disney store. Or again, on shopdisney.com, you can purchase him online for 25 bucks. He is back ordered right now. Don't pay outrageous eBay prices. He's going for like 40, 50 bucks on eBay, but don't do that. Just wait out. You'll get this one. Disney Store will have him in stock and you'll be able to find it. But I personally really like this version the most out of these three figures. Again, he comes with the additional head sculpt. He is 25 bucks, so he's reasonably priced. And I just love the paint. I just love everything about this figure. The articulation is there. Marvel Select has really taken a step up on their articulation. Their old Marvel Select figures used to be like statues, but these new figures, they're as articulated as the Marvel Legends version, if not better, because they have additional articulation like that you can't have on the Marvel Legends version. Don't get me wrong, for all the Marvel Legends enthusiasts out there, I love these two figures. That's why they're still in my collection. If you're only collecting movie versions, this is a great Thanos to have. If you like the comic book versions, again, this paint app on this figure right here with the metallic blue looks stunning. Absolutely beautiful. If you have a shelf and it has a lot of light to it, this is really going to pop off your shelf. It looks amazing. But me personally, again, this is my personal opinion, I like this Marvel Select version the most. And I am very happy to add him to my collection. Alright, so I hope you enjoyed this Versus episode. Kind of a short episode, but I really wanted to kind of showcase and show off my Thanos figures. And let me know in the comments which version you like the most of those three versions, or if you like an entirely different Thanos. If you like the older Marvel Select version, or the older Build-A-Figure Thanos, let me know which one you like. SH Figuarts is also coming out soon, so there's that one. And I'm sure other companies are probably going to produce a Thanos figure. He was awesome. Awesome in Infinity War, probably one of my favorite villains of all time. That's it for this episode. I'm actually going to follow up this Versus episode with another Versus episode. So my next episode, I decided to unpack my Batman Day Mezco exclusive Batman, Ascending Knight Batman. It's the all-black one with a gold utility belt. So I decided to open that one up, and I'm going to do a versus between that one and the regular standard version of the Ascending Knight Batman. So keep an eye out for that one. That'll be my next episode. So 2 Versus episodes in a row. Let me know if you like these things. If you guys continue to like these Versus episodes, I'll do more of these. That's it for now. Thank you for liking, commenting, subscribing, and sharing. If you like this episode, give a thumbs up. I appreciate it. But as always, have fun collecting, and I will see you guys in the next episode. Adios for now.